Hey, welcome back. I am so glad you are here with me in my kitchen. Welcome, welcome. If you're new here, my name is Vicki-Lynne. I follow a plant-based diet. I don't consume oil, and I'm on a journey to, of course, lose some weight, lower my cholesterol, and move my body every day. So I hope you stick around and I hope you join me. And anytime you have questions, please leave me comments down below. I love questions. Honestly, that's how we all learn. We're all on a different journey and we all learn at our own pace. Now, the things we're going to make today, because I have enough of my soup left over from last meal prep, I'm actually going to make shepherd's pie. Oh, falafels, duh. And I'm going to make a maple pecan. I haven't decided if I'm going to put them in bars or make like little bliss balls with them. So stick around to the end because that's a really good recipe and it's delicious. So right now, what I've already done was I already cooked my sweet potatoes. I just threw them in the oven while we were doing breakfast just so that they would be cooked, because for my shepherd's pie, I'm going to do half with white potatoes or Yukon Golds, and then the other half with some sweet potatoes on top, because I did that last time and it was really, really good. And then the other thing I'm going to do, so the one thing I got in here are my Yukons. I've already cut them up, and we're just going to bring those to a boil. I leave the skin on because it's very thin and I like to get the fiber and all the nutrients out of it. So we're going to get that started. And the other thing I do on my shepherd's pie is so growing up, my mom would always put cream corn. And so I do have cream corn. And now I don't usually use cream corn because it has sugar in it and stuff. So if you're not using sugar, just use regular frozen corn. You're good. It's perfect. But I also like to put carrots in it, sliced carrots. So let's get cooking, guys. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to chop an onion, or I'm actually going to do my carrots, sorry. But I've taken the skin off the onion. I'm putting it in my Ziploc bag. And again, if you've been here, you guys know I make my own broth most of the time. And so I freeze it in containers and I freeze it in ice cubes. So when we're sauteing, instead of just using water, we're using vegetable broth. It just adds extra flavor and it costs you nothing. You're going to throw it out, it's going to cost you nothing. So I just have a pot of water that I'm going to cook these in. And I happen to have all these beautiful, they were tri-colored carrots. So I'm making extra potatoes because that's the best tip I can give you when you're meal prepping. Always make extra. Most stuff you could freeze. It'll last, quite a few days in the fridge anyway. And then you're always going to have lots of great things to eat. It's also going to look super pretty with the yellow and the purple. You see that? That's awesome. I think they're so cool. Anyway, so I'm actually cooking extra carrots so I can have carrots on the side with my other mashed potatoes when I run out of my shepherd's pie. Watch my last video. You saw that I took out some chickpeas and some lentils out of the freezer. Okay, tip number 2, cook your beans. I mean, if you can, that's fine. But if you're doing from dry because you want to save money, cook a big batch of beans. They freeze lovely. And then I just keep rotating, almost like a rotating meal prep. So I will do a large pot of, say, black beans and put those in the freezer, and then the next time I'll do chickpeas and stuff. And then as I start using stuff up, it's like a rolling meal prep. Then I'll start, oh, I'm running out of black beans. Okay, I'm going to do a batch of black beans, put them back in the freezer. That way you always have something. So we're just going to get the potatoes and the carrots going on the stove. That's going to be super simple. And then we'll start getting the rest of the stuff we need for our shepherd's pie. So how I make the base of my shepherd's pie, obviously instead of meat, I'm using lentils, which I had frozen. And I like to add mushrooms. It just gives it that little bit of a more meatier taste. So I'm just going to chop the mushrooms. The mushrooms tips can also go in your stock in your freezer. They do add a nice umami flavor. Okay, so we're just going to chop up some of this onion. If you didn't have onion, you could always use just onion powder. If you need to keep things simple, right now I don't have any garlic. I have to go to Costco. And I'm using garlic powder today. I mean, you just use what you need, whatever you have. You want to use a lot of aromatics when you're cooking too. It just adds to the enjoyment of your meal. So that I'm going to save and put it in the fridge. My little resealable bags, another great thing. Try to cut down on the plastic. Okay, so everything is sauteed up just the way we want it. Got those nice little bits on the bottom. And so I'm going to put in some vegetable stock. You could do a faux chicken one, or actually I would do a vegetable or beef only. I'm going to throw in my lentils. If you wanted it to be even higher in protein, you could add TVP to this, and that would really boost up the protein. But for me, the lentils are perfect. Now we need to season them. So I am going to use granulated garlic. And again, if you are using real garlic, then obviously you would cook those while you're cooking your onions. Okay, I'm going to add in some thyme. And I like to break it up in my hands because it kind of releases some of the oils in, because they're dry and they just need to be finessed a little bit. And then also some summer savory. I love summer savory. But it's a big thing in Canada on the East Coast, but not so much here. And we're just going to let this cook down a little bit. Okay, now we're going to make our delicious maple pecan squares. I think I'm just going to do them in squares. It'll just be way easier. We're going to add in, these are instant oats or quick oats. I'm going to add in some flax seed, some maple syrup. You could use agave. I'm going to add in some cinnamon because we love cinnamon here. Add in your dates and your pecan. I did toast my pecans because they taste way better that way. And now just process. Put your mixture into your prepared pan. I'm going to sprinkle a few chocolate chips. And some pumpkin seeds. Just press them in. Chill for an hour. Okay, so our potatoes are done. I'm just going to mash them. And I'm just going to put in some soy milk. And we want to mash them till they're light and fluffy. Let's start putting these together. You should have your oven preheated to 350. And we're just going to take the lentil mixture. And next I'm going to put on the cream corn. Now we're going to top with some carrots. Kind of all turn the same color, but the low calorie. Then we're going to top with our potatoes. I like having a pan underneath because this will bubble up and flow over. So it'll be easier to clean that way. Okay, so we're going to throw the onions in and give them a quick chop. Now we're going to want to toast our seasoning. 1 teaspoon of coriander. There we go. And then some cumin. And then we're just going to toast these until they become fragrant. And that takes about 30 to 60 seconds. Okay, so we're going to finish up with our falafels. We've toasted our spices and it smells so good in here. We are going to add in, obviously, our chickpeas. Now I don't have garlic, like I said, I'm just using granulated garlic. I am going to add in a little bit of cayenne, give them a little bit of a kick, and some turmeric. We need some parsley. I'm just helping the machine by chopping it up a little bit. And then we need some cilantro. So did you know that cilantro and coriander are the same thing? Did you? Leave me a message down below. Coriander is the dried version. Cilantro is the fresh version. And then we just need a little bit of lemon juice. Lemon juice is going in. And every once in a while you're going to have to just scrape your bowl down just to make sure everything gets covered. And I'm just going to check. Not quite sticking together yet. Now we're just going to throw this in our bowl. All right, so now to this mixture, we're going to add in our baking powder and our chickpea flour. And then you're gonna mix that well. And put it in the fridge for about an hour, and then we're gonna make our patties and bake them. Okay, so it's been about an hour and my chickpea has been setting, and I'm just going to I'm actually going to make patties instead of balls this time, just so I can put them like in hamburgers or break them up or put them on salads, things like that. Just they'll cook faster. So let's just put those together. All right, so we're just going to scoop, and again, you can make your patties as big or as small as you want. And then what I do is once I form them all, I will put this sheet into the freezer and I freeze them. Then I can just cook them whenever I want, just pull them out, throw them in the air fryer. I do find that they are so much nicer in the air fryer. Okay friends, that's the end of this meal prep. We have our falafels, and don't forget I have a great recipe for naan bread. It comes together really easily and it's always delicious, and you just make it fresh whenever you want it. So do check out that recipe. I'll put it up here. And then we have our shepherd's pie, a little hot individually. We're all set there. And our bars, and they're going to be great for snacks for the week and just anytime we want a little something sweet or munchy. So until next time guys, don't forget, eat healthy, stay healthy, and make the rest of your life the best of your life.